We don't have to live on Peter Pan Lane to make magic happen in our food budget. Today, I'm going to share with you some of the concepts that I use to get good deals and to help cut my food budget. We are a family of two. Our budget is $245 a month, and we split that. I pay for mine, he pays for his. And that is how we have always done it. We do have a pantry backstock, and that supplies a lot of our food while I'm watching for the deals. So today I'm going to share with you some of the tips that I use, some of the basic concepts that I use to keep my budget low. Having less and spending less sometimes is a choice and sometimes it's a circumstance. So I hope this helps someone today. Hi, I'm Bonita and I am early retired. I'm not old enough yet for Social Security. I'm living on a low income and I am living off of savings. I live in Kansas on a farm and I have a donkey. This is Brownie. I have frugal videos all year round, and I hope that you will join me this year as we share ways to save money and live our dreams. Spending money is easier than it has ever been before, and so is getting into debt. But we don't want to go into debt over food. As many of you know, I've done a lot of traveling this year. Right now, I am at my son's house in another part of Kansas, dog sitting for several weeks. So I appreciate you all following me to these little destinations and tuning in. But we're going to talk today about some of the strategies that I use, some of the things that I look for, and some of the ways that I keep us on a really low budget. My son is a ingredient household person. He does all of the cooking. So if you look in his pantry, there are only ingredients. There's nothing like fast you can make. And so I've done a little bit of shopping since I've been here to be able to cook some things that I needed to make while he was gone. He did try to dwindle down a few of his fresh ingredients, but he still had a few that needed used up. He knows me very well. He said, I figured you would want to do your own cooking. I figured you would want to do your dishes by hand. He left me a long list of how to do things, how to run different pieces of equipment, and when the trash goes out, and all of those kinds of things. So I'm settling in here still. And while I am here, I have to acclimate myself to some of the shopping areas that are local. Everywhere you go, you will have to learn what is available, what stores are available, what deals do they have, where's the clearance section, and what can you do while you're there to save money. Even though I travel, I spend very, very little and I stretch my dollar no matter where I'm at. And that way it doesn't affect me when I do some of this traveling. I'm able to live very inexpensively. So one of the stores locally here is not a chain store. And it's one of the ones that my son likes to go to because it's very close by. It still has some brands that I'm familiar with from when my husband and I owned a small rural grocery store for 7.5 years. It has the Always Save brand, which is kind of the equivalent to the Walmart Great Value brand, but it's from a different food truck. But Always Save is a good brand, and I'm familiar with it, and it's cheaper than Great Value. So while I was down here, I decided to check that out and see if I could pick up some things that were on my wish list for great deals when I'm out and about. I always keep a wish list going of things that we need, things we're getting low on, and then when I find a great price on those, that's when I pick them up. Bulk popcorn was one of the things on my list. It is $2.38 a package for the Great Value brand at Walmart, but at the local store here that carries Always Save brand, It's $1.89, almost a saving of 50 cents per package. So I picked up 4 pounds because we were almost out. They also offer a 7-cent discount if you bring in your own shopping bags. These things are good to know when you're out shopping because there are some stores that do give you a discount if you take in your shopping bag. Target is also one of those stores that will give you 5 cents back. So let me know, do you have stores that will give you credit for taking in your own shopping bag? And do you have some local stores that still have some brands that are competitive with the big store brands where you can stock up on some of the things on your wish list? Some of the things I have on my wish list that I'm watching for right now are dried shell beans, ham, crackers, red peppers, yellow paint that I need for home for a project. And I always check that mismatched area in the home supply stores to see if they have any sunflower yellow. I haven't ran across it yet, so it's still there. Dried split mung beans. So I keep a list like that. And then when I find the things I'm looking for, I will snatch them up. You guys know that I love to stack deals wherever I can. So when I went down there, I also picked up some 5-pound bag potatoes. They had them on sale for $1.99 a bag. I knew we were almost out at home, so I picked up 2 bags of those. They had cherry tomatoes for $1.99. I picked up a package of those. And they had plantains for 58 cents. Now, I fell in love with plantains on our trip to Florida. All they did was saute them, is what the waitress said, and they were such a delicious, sweet treat. So I picked up a couple of those to try. And then Upside, which is a rebate in my description box below that does gas stations, also does grocery stores. So I got 8% back on everything that I bought at this store. I like to shop in person so I can get unadvertised deals. I went in for these mandarins for $2.99 a bag, but while I was there, I found this corn on markdown, and look at the price on these hamburger buns. I know a lot of people like to order online and have their food delivered. They feel like they spend less money that way, but I honestly feel like I spend less money by shopping in person because I can catch those deals on markdown that you're not going to see online. Now, once in a while, you can get lucky and you can find something online that is on clearance and you can stock up on that. My son in Maryland did that. He found packages of frozen dumplings that were marked down online when he was doing a grocery order. It's really hard to shop up there. They do have one within walking distance, and driving and parking is always an issue. And so he looked in his freezer and saw how much room he had and calculated that, and then stocked up on those dumplings, and they made them in different ways and ate them for weeks and weeks to come. And many of you who are saving money on groceries right now have figured out this trick already. I use what I buy on sale with the things I already have to save money and plan my menus. So I used those potatoes that I bought, some of that corn on the cob, I cut it off of the cob, and I decided to make potato soup. It's chilly. I know it's June, but it's been raining and it's been cold. And so I decided a pot of soup sounded really, really good. I brought one of my Swiss chard plants with me. I used some of that in the place of celery. I brought some onions with me and chopped those up. They were sweet onions. It was so delicious. And then my son had some heavy whipping cream that was going out of date, and I knew it would be thrown out probably by the time they got home. So I used that in my potato soup. It turned out so wonderful. I made a small amount since it's just me, but I will have probably 3 or 4 meals of potato soup. And then my son makes everything homemade. Like I told you, he has a sourdough starter right now in the fridge that I'm responsible for keeping alive and making it once a week. And he pre-made me a loaf of homemade sourdough bread that I am using this week before I have to make it on my own this next week. Now, I've never made sourdough bread before. I've never had a starter before. He is fantastic with pies and homemade breads, and he left me a very detailed list on how to make the sourdough. So when it's time to make the sourdough, if you want to watch me to see if I can do this and if it is a total fail, let me know, because I am responsible for doing that once a week and they are gone for 3 weeks. And then I have to eat that by myself. So right now I've been having a piece of toasted sourdough for breakfast with my coffee. And I thought I could have a grilled cheese sandwich. That would probably be delicious. And I could have it with my soup. I love bread. It's my weakness. Hopefully, I don't put weight back on while I'm down here with his homemade bread before I get back home. So let me know some of the tricks that you do to save money. I know that it is tough, and I know summer is coming up, and there are lots of events and lots of activities with friends and outdoor activities. But our true friends understand if we are trying to save money, and they will be willing to do things with us, whether it's a yard picnic or spending the afternoon at the lake or just spending time at home with carry-in food where everybody participates. True friends will love that time that they spend together, and they don't have to spend a ton of money to have great company. So I hope you've enjoyed this video. If it's given you any ideas on how to save money, share them in the comments, because we are always looking for ways to save here. Thanks for joining me today, and I hope to see you soon.